Here's a funny fact. I was typing Brittney Griner into my phone the other day to get this down as a potential video idea, and it autocorrected Griner into Grinder. Which, I mean, normally that's what I would be looking up, but surprisingly, against all odds, that was not the case this time around. No, our focus today is on a lesbian woman, as opposed to gay men. A woman who, in bringing a little bit of marijuana into a country notably stringent on such substances, has forced the US's hand in responding to an international controversy, the cultural impact of which has been compounded significantly by her celebrity status, and the result of which may, probably won't, but potentially could, lose us the second coming of the Cold War. When you see Brittney Griner, the most noticeable thing about her, aside from the fact that she's locked up in a Russian cell there to remain for the next 9 years, is her height. She's 6 foot 9 inches tall, a fact which has apparently made her bunking accommodations in Russia very difficult, making her the 4th tallest player in WNBA history. She was born in Houston, Texas, reaffirming the idea that everything is bigger in Texas, even the women, and she played college basketball for, and you cannot make this up, a team named the Lady Bears. Obviously she dominated both the high school and the college level, setting a high school record for blocks in 2008 to 2009 with 318, which hopefully prepared her for having to deal with cell blocks in Russia. One controversial incident occurred for her in college in a game against Texas Tech, where Griner threw a right-handed roundhouse punch that broke her opponent's nose. Keep that in mind, this is unfortunately a theme. This, of course, resulted in her getting ejected from the game. You could say she got called for Texas Tech, and suspended an additional 1 game afterwards. Man, she cannot win with this stuff. First she gets ejected from a game for busting out a hook, then she gets arrested in Russia for busting out a hookah. After the game, her coach suspended her for another game, stating that she doesn't believe that the incident should define her either as a person or a player. I mean, I guess it doesn't now. Regardless, she had a dominant college career and was selected 1st overall in the 2013 WNBA draft. Before the draft, Dallas Mavericks owner and Shark Tank dude Mark Cuban stated that he would be interested in drafting her for the NBA, and she expressed interest in the opportunity. I suppose her watching him say, "I'm out" for all those years motivated her to do the same. Dallas's drafting strategy has been pretty sound for them so far, so I would have been surprised to see them actually go for her on draft night, although the Sacramento Kings probably would have taken her 1st overall. She does great in the WNBA, and in her 2nd season, her team, the Phoenix Mercury, win the championship. Before the 2015 season, her 3rd season in the league, she and her fiancé, Glory Johnson, fellow WNBA player, are both arrested for assault after they exchanged in a physical altercation at their home in Phoenix. Griner took a couple of punches in the contest, marking this the 2nd time that Griner has gotten in trouble with the law for taking a hit. Despite this, they still get married a month later. Through sickness, I guess, but less than a month after that, and the day after they announce an in vitro pregnancy, Griner announces their split. According to Griner, she only went through with the marriage under pressure and was not involved in the IVF process. However, Miss Johnson, or Mrs. Johnson, I'm not 100% sure at this point, claimed that Griner was the one who picked the sperm donor, who was apparently blonde-haired and blue-eyed. Apparently she wanted their kids to become star golf players? I mean, unless their sperm donor was this guy, in which case, fair enough. On the other hand, he was 15 years old when all this went down, so unless Griner was on that Zoe Kravitz shit, I don't think that was the case. That wasn't even the end of it, because around then, Miss Griner was rumored to be dating former NBA star Anthony Davis. He's still in the NBA, he just used to be a star. Davis was reported to say, "She is everything to me. We have an amazing relationship and have so much in common. We even wear the same size clothes and shoes, so sometimes she borrows a shirt or two from me." Yeah, I bet she wears most of the pants in the relationship too. You know, I'll bet all of Anthony Davis's injury problems the last 2 years have stemmed from her being on top. I'm kidding, that's nasty. Regardless, for the start of the 2015 season, Griner serves her 7-game suspension, yada yada yada. However, once she gets on the court, she transitions directly into beating up on the other teams in the league instead, averaging a WNBA record 4 blocks per game. Despite not having star teammate Diana Taurasi for the season, the Mercury made it to the playoffs where they were swept out. And you know the funny thing, the reason Taurasi didn't play in the 2015 season was because her winter ball team paid her 14 times her regular salary not to play. Her team in the Russian Premier League, which really has to make Griner feel like shit. I mean, you watch your teammate get $1.5 million from a Russian team, so you mosey on over, hoping to get the same type of payday, and they lock you up for the rest of your prime. Hey, so that green you guys gave Taurasi, huh? Is there any of it for me still? Well, certainly, of course. It's right behind that door over there. Oh, and this one right here? Yep, that's the one. Hey guys, can't find any of it. Guys? She says she wants the green. That is a clear marijuana reference. In 2016, a little bit of controversy arises when Griner, training with the US women's national team for the Olympics, says that she would be able to beat DeMarcus Cousins of the men's team in a 1v1. Which, I mean, seems a little far-fetched, considering she couldn't even beat her own fiancé in a 1v1. Maybe she assumes that since she pussy-whipped Anthony Davis, that she could take down Cousins as well. The men's team, of course, was dubious, and Cousins called her claims delusional, which, to be fair, I think that hallucinations are a side effect of cannabis. And this ended up turning into a whole argument online, to which my response is, come on, guys. They were friends, they had banter during joint practices, it was all just a little bit of fun between them. We all know what would happen in an actual 1v1 between them. DeMarcus Cousins would constantly bitch and moan to the referee and win with 21 free throws. Ah, hey, ref, she hit me! She has a history of that, you know. During the off-seasons, Griner would play overseas, playing in China from 2013 to 2014, then in Russia from 2014 to 2016, which, I mean, talk about jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Hey, maybe when she was in China, she got to meet some of the kids who stitched together her Nike clothes. Finally, we get to our defining moment, February 17th of 2022. Griner has arrived at Sheremetyevo Airport to play for her off-season team in, obviously, Russia. We all know at this point has attacked Ukraine and subsequently had sanctions imposed upon them by the United States. When searching her bag, Russian authorities find vaporizer cartridges containing hash oil, which is medical marijuana that she had been prescribed in Arizona but is apparently illegal in Russia. Not only that, but there was less than a gram in there, so you know that they must have been looking for something, any excuse they could grasp at to bring her in. Moscow courts extended her detention period until May 19th, then June 18th of 2022, while US officials denounced the detainment, labeling it as a high-leverage hostage situation, and worked to get her free. On July 7th, her trial occurred, and Griner pled guilt, but also ignorance as to the law. Meanwhile, back in good old America, General Manager Joe Biden decided to put his trader cap on and get to work trying to bring Brittney Griner back onto Team USA. The first offer that seemed to be well received by Russia was a trade of Brittney Griner back to the US and illegal arms dealer Victor Bout, 10 years through a 25-year prison sentence, heading back Russia's way. Which, if you think about it for more than 3 seconds, is a horrible trade. You'd be giving a bad motherfucker away, like a serious wartime dude, in exchange for a basketball player? And not like LeBron James either. Like, what is Brittney Griner gonna do on the battlefield? Dunk on enemy soldiers? So the US countered with another proposal. Victor Bout back to Russia, and Griner and Paul Whelan, arrested in 2018 for espionage in Moscow, back to the US in return. Which is interesting. You know, we were cool with an important government agent being stuck in a horrible Russian prison for the last 4 years, but now that a basketball player is trapped there too, all of a sudden we're scrambling to make a move. This potential move is nixed when Russia countered counter-offers with those two in return, but both Bout and convicted assassin Vadim Krasikov back to Russia. So now we'd be giving away 2 crazy war guys and killers just like that. It'd be almost like we wanted Russia to take Ukraine. See, notice how Russia didn't ask for any basketball players in return? The US nixed the return of Krasikov, the trade was called off, and on August 4th, Griner was found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in Russian prison. Which is insane. I mean, 9 years for marijuana. Jeez, imagine how long she would have been sentenced for if Vladimir Putin found out she was gay. Now, if the US gives in and accepts this trade, is it really going to cost us World War III? Probably not. But this Victor Bout guy could sell the weapon that's used to assassinate some big shot US Army general, and the assassin could be this Krasikov guy himself. I feel like if we wanted to get this trade done, we should have offered up some draft picks, you know? Let the Russians have their pick of 2 or 3 US soldiers for themselves. Honestly though, that would probably be a worse idea. Like, imagine you're on the front lines of World War III, and you see fucking world's strongest man Brian Shaw charging towards you from Russia's side. At the end of the day, as shitty as it is of Russia to use someone's celebrity status as a bargaining chip for their safety, we simply cannot release dangerous guys like this for a basketball player, so whose main rallying cry and media attention as to this issue stems from the fact that she's a celebrity, a famous person. While the punishment certainly does not fit the crime, Brittney Griner made a really boneheaded move. We all know Russia is strict and ridiculous, and with their recent actions, you just have to be more careful about this kind of stuff. We just have to accept that Russia is the new North Korea, and unless you're Dennis Rodman, and Brittney Griner is not Dennis Rodman, that country is not safe anymore. It's like that kid who went to North Korea and touched a painting or something. They detained him for 2 years, and then they fucking killed him. Don't go into Russia, don't go around Russia, don't even fly over Russia, because they will find an excuse to gun you down. In all seriousness though, I hope that Brittney Griner is able to return home safely with no trade needed. She's a role model for girls in sports, for LGBTQ girls, and also for really tall, really lanky girls who get picked on for it. She showed that you can use that to your advantage. Hopefully she gets released soon. Hopefully this fucking war ends soon. this pandemic ends, and while I'm wishfully thinking, I'd like GTA 6 to come out next month too. Thank you for watching. Next week will be a video on another athlete who's recently been transferred to the Pound, and if I had to guess, I think you'll be hoping that this story has a happy ending. Like and subscribe if you support Mother Russia and all their endeavors and conquests. Long live the new Soviet state. Connor Hagerman out.